What if I told you, your life is already being written, not by destiny, but by numbers you ignore every single day? Look around your life for a moment. Everything you see can be broken down into numbers. The clock ticking beside you, the date, on your phone, your age, your bank balance, even your screen time, all of it is numbers. But the problem is we have trained our minds to think that numbers are just cold, lifeless data. We see them, we read them, and we ignore them. Yet the truth is something deeper. Numbers are not dead. They are alive in a very real sense, because they are constantly recording, measuring, and defining your existence whether you pay attention or not. Think about time first. Every second that passes is a number you will never get back. You don't feel it physically disappearing, but it is leaving anyway. That 1 second is not just a unit on a clock. It is a piece of your life being used either wisely or wastefully. And here's the powerful truth most people never realize. Time doesn't stop for your emotions, your laziness, or your excuses. It keeps moving like a silent system that never sleeps. Each number on that clock is like a witness, watching what you are doing with your life. Are you building something, or are you just letting it pass? Now look at your day. You say, I have 24 hours, but those 24 hours are not just a schedule. They are 24 living segments of opportunity. Each hour carries its own identity. The morning hour where you wake up decides your discipline. The afternoon hours decide your productivity. The night hours decide your reflection and rest. Every single one of these numbers is alive because it is shaping a different part of your future. If you waste 1 hour, you are not just losing time, you are losing a small piece of a future version of yourself that could have been stronger, smarter, or more successful. Even your age is not just a number on paper. People proudly say, I am 18, I am 25, or I am 30. But very few understand what that actually means. Your age is not just how long you have lived. It is a live record of how many opportunities you have already used. Each year of your life is like a chapter that has already been written. Some pages may be full of growth, learning, and effort, while others may be empty or wasted. And the important part is this: those numbers are not waiting for you. They are already gone. They are already part of your story. But what makes this idea even more powerful is that numbers don't just record the past. They also shape the future. Every decision you make adds a number to your life. 1 more hour of learning, 1 more day of discipline, 1 more week of consistency. These are not just actions, they are living investments into a future outcome. And slowly, without you even noticing, these numbers start building a pattern. That pattern becomes your identity. Your identity then becomes your destiny. This is why successful people think differently. They don't just see time, they see opportunity units. They don't just see money, they see value numbers they can multiply. They don't just see followers, they see attention they can influence. To them, everything is alive because everything is active, moving, and changing every second, and that is what gives them an advantage. They respect the life inside numbers. On the other side, most people ignore them. They think 1 wasted hour is nothing, 1 skipped task is nothing, 1 lazy day is nothing. But numbers don't forget. They accumulate silently, and one day, when results don't come, when dreams feel far away, people suddenly realize that those small nothing moments actually built a big nothing life. So when I say numbers are alive, I don't mean it in a poetic way only, I mean it in a real practical sense. They are alive because they are constantly working on you. They are shaping your discipline, your habits, your results, and your future whether you notice them or not. You are not just living inside time. You are being written by it. And the most important realization is this: you cannot pause these numbers, you cannot hide from them, and you cannot restart them. You can only use them while they are still moving. And that means every single moment you are given is not just time passing. It is life actively being created in front of you. When you think about your age, most people treat it like a simple label. I'm 18, I'm 25, I'm 30, as if it's just a number that shows where you stand in life. But in reality, your age is not a label. It is a countdown that is running silently every single second. And the most dangerous part is not that it is counting down. It is that most people are completely unaware of how fast it is moving. Every birthday you celebrate feels like a milestone, like you have reached something bigger. But behind the celebration, there is another truth that nobody talks about. That day is not just marking how far you have come, it is also marking how much time you have already used. It is like flipping a page in a book where the pages are limited. You don't notice it because life keeps you busy, distracted, entertained. But the pages are still turning whether you are focused or not. Your age is not progress in the way we normally think. It is actually time being consumed. Every year is not just another year of experience. It is also one less year available to shape your future in the way you once imagined. And this is where life quietly becomes serious. Because while you are planning someday, your age is moving through today without waiting for your plans to be ready. Think about your childhood for a moment. It feels like it passed in a blink, right? The games, the school days, the friends, the moments you thought would last forever. All of it became memories faster than you expected. And that is not because childhood was short. It is because time never slows down for anyone. The same speed that carried your childhood is carrying your present right now. The only difference is, now you are more aware, but still not fully conscious of it. This is why age is not just a number. It is a silent reminder of urgency. It tells you that life is not standing still. It is moving forward even when you are resting, even when you are distracted, even when you are delaying important decisions. And every day you say, I will start tomorrow, your age quietly moves one step ahead without you. Most people live under the illusion that they have plenty of time. That illusion is one of the most dangerous lies you can believe. Because time doesn't show its loss immediately. You don't wake up one day and suddenly feel your youth disappear. Instead, it leaves slowly, quietly, and consistently. Until one day you look back and realize that a whole chapter of your life has already been written without the progress you expected. And here's the deeper truth. Your age is not just counting years, it is counting opportunities. Every year has doors inside it. Some doors open for education, some for skills, some for relationships, some for discipline, some for success. But once a year passes, many of those doors close forever. You might still move forward, but certain opportunities will never return, in the same form again. That is why age is not just something to celebrate, it is something to reflect on. Because every number added to your age is also a number subtracted from your available time. And if you are not conscious of that, you will keep living as if time is unlimited, until reality eventually forces you to understand it. The strongest people in life are not those who just grow older, they are those who become aware of what their age actually represents. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They understand that their age is moving, their time is shrinking, and their opportunities are passing. So they act while the numbers are still in their favor, and that is the truth most people avoid. Age is not just about getting older. It is about how much of your life has already been spent and how wisely you are using what is left. Because in the end, your age is not just telling the world how long you have lived. It is silently telling you how much time you still have left to become who you were meant to be. When we talk about time, most people imagine it as something simple. Hours on a clock, days on a calendar, weeks turning into months. But in reality, time is not just a background element of life. It is the main force that is actively building your destiny every single moment. Every hour you live is not just passing by. It is taking a decision on your behalf about what your future will look like. Whether you realize it or not, your entire destiny is being shaped by how you spend something you can never see, touch, or hold. Think about one simple hour. 60 minutes. It feels small, almost insignificant. You might say, what can 1 hour really do? But the truth is, 1 hour is not small at all. 1 hour repeated consistently becomes your entire life direction. 1 hour of focus every day becomes mastery over time. 1 hour of distraction every day becomes years of regret. That is how powerful these time numbers are. They don't look important in the moment, but they are quietly building your future behind the scenes. Successful people are not people who have more time than others. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. The difference is not in quantity, it is in awareness. Some people treat time like something to kill, while others treat it like something to invest. And that small difference changes everything. Because time does not reward intention, it rewards usage. You can wish for success, dream about success, and even plan success, but if your time is not aligned with it, nothing changes. Every second you waste is not just a moment gone, it is a missed opportunity to move closer to your potential. And the tricky part is, wasted time never feels like loss in the beginning. It feels like comfort. It feels like just 5 more minutes, just today off. I will start tomorrow. But those small delays stack up silently. And when they stack, they don't form a small problem. They form a completely different life path than the one you imagined. Time is constantly converting itself into results. There is no pause button. There is no replay. There is only forward motion. So whatever you do with your time is automatically becoming your future identity. If you spend your hours learning, improving, and building discipline, your future identity becomes strong, capable, and confident. But if you spend your hours avoiding effort, escaping responsibility, and delaying growth, your future identity becomes weak, dependent, and frustrated. The transformation is automatic. The only variable is how you are using the time that is already moving. Even your ordinary daily routine is full of hidden time decisions. The moment you wake up sets the tone of your entire day. The first hour of your morning can either give you control over your day or make you reactive for the rest of it. The way you spend your afternoons decides your productivity. The way you spend your nights decides your mental clarity for tomorrow. Every segment of time is alive in the sense that it is actively influencing the next stage of your life without asking for permission. And here is something even deeper. Time doesn't just build success, it also builds habits. And habits are nothing more than repeated time choices. You don't become disciplined in one moment. You become disciplined through hundreds of small-time decisions where you chose effort over comfort. You don't become successful in one big move. You become successful through thousands of small hours that you respected instead of wasted. But the painful reality is this: time does not wait for realization. You might understand all of this later in life, but understanding alone cannot recover what has already passed. Time doesn't offer refunds, it only offers continuation. And whether that continuation becomes regret or achievement depends entirely on how seriously you treat each moment while you still have it. The people who eventually succeed are not the ones who had perfect circumstances. They are the ones who finally understood that time was not just passing, it was constructing their future silently, whether they participated or not. Once that realization hits, everything changes, because suddenly, every hour feels valuable, every minute feels accountable, and every decision feels like it has long-term consequences. So when we say time numbers decide your destiny, it is not an exaggeration. It is a direct truth. Your future is not waiting somewhere far away. It is being built right now, inside the time you are living in this very moment. And the direction of that future depends on one thing only: how you are treating the time that is still alive in your hands right now. When people look at success, they usually see the final picture. They see money in the bank, followers on social media, skills that impress others, or achievements that bring respect. But what they don't see is something deeper. Behind all of these are numbers. Everything measurable in your life eventually becomes a number. And those numbers are not just statistics. They are the result of your actions, your discipline, and your consistency over time. But here is the truth most people miss. Numbers themselves are never powerful. It is what you do behind those numbers that gives them meaning. Two people can have the same number, but completely different value. Two people can earn the same amount of money, but live completely different lives. Two people can have the same amount of time, but achieve completely different outcomes. Why? Because numbers are only containers. The real power comes from what fills them. Take money as an example. On paper, money is just a number. It is digits on a screen or notes in your hand. But in reality, that number represents effort, decisions, sacrifices, and time. For one person, a small amount of money may represent weeks of hard work. For another, a larger amount may come without discipline or meaning, and it disappears just as quickly. So the number itself is not the success. The value behind it is what truly matters. The same applies to skills. When someone says, "I have 10 skills," or "I know this subject," it sounds like a number of achievements. But those numbers only matter if they are deep, practiced, and usable. A skill without depth is just a label. A skill with practice becomes power. So again, the number is not alive by itself. It becomes alive through the effort you put into it. Even followers and attention in today's world are just numbers. People often get impressed by large numbers online, but numbers without impact are empty. One person may have thousands of followers who don't care about their message, while another may have a smaller audience but real influence that changes lives. The number looks bigger, but the value is smaller. Because what matters is not how many people are watching you, it is how deeply you are affecting them. This is the hidden truth. Numbers are not equal. They only become meaningful when your actions give them weight. And that weight comes from consistency, intention, and discipline. 1 hour of focused learning is not equal to 1 hour of distraction, even though both are 1 hour. $1 earned with effort is not equal to $1 earned without understanding. One achievement built over struggle is not equal to one achievement that came without growth. So when we say your actions turn numbers into value, we are talking about transformation. You are not just collecting numbers in life, you are constantly shaping what those numbers represent. Every decision you make adds meaning to them. Every habit you build changes their quality. Every action you repeat strengthens or weakens their value. This is why two people can start at the same point in life, but end up in completely different realities. On paper, their numbers may look similar in the beginning. Same age, same opportunities, same time. But over time, their actions start changing the meaning of those numbers. One person uses their hours, money, and energy with purpose. The other lets them pass without direction. Slowly, the gap doesn't just appear, it grows silently through everyday choices. And the most important realization is this: you are the one assigning value to your numbers. Life does not decide for you. The clock does not decide for you. The money does not decide for you. You decide. Your discipline decides. Your consistency decides. Your effort decides. So when you look at your life, don't just focus on what numbers you have. Focus on what those numbers are becoming because of you. Because in the end, success is not measured by how many numbers you collected, but by how much life, effort, and meaning you gave to those numbers while you had them in your control. And that is what truly separates empty numbers from powerful ones. Not the quantity you see, but the value you build behind them through your actions. When we reach the final realization of this idea, it becomes even more intense. Because at some point you have to accept that numbers are not just observing your life, they are documenting it. Everything you do, everything you delay, everything you repeat, everything you ignore, it all becomes part of a silent record that keeps growing without stopping. And that is why I say, these numbers are watching you. Not in a literal sense, but in the sense that they are constantly reflecting who you are becoming. Think about your daily routine. The hours you wake up, the time you waste, the effort you give, the excuses you make, all of it is being converted into outcomes. You may not see it instantly, but numbers never lose memory. They accumulate everything. One day of laziness doesn't look serious in isolation. One missed opportunity doesn't feel like a big deal in the moment. But when these numbers collect, over weeks, months, and years, they form a pattern. And that pattern becomes your life story. And here is the uncomfortable truth: numbers don't lie to you. You can lie to yourself. You can convince yourself that you are trying, that you are improving, that you will change tomorrow. But numbers don't accept excuses. They only show results. They only show consistency. They only show output. That is why they are the most honest reflection of your discipline, even when you are not ready to face it. Every person carries two versions of themselves. One is the version they believe they are, full of potential, ideas, and plans. The other is the version that is actually being built by their daily numbers, and most of the time these two versions are not the same. The difference between them is not talent, not luck, not opportunity. It is action over time. It is what you are doing with your hours when no one is watching. Because remember, numbers are always watching silently. They are recording your consistency when you show up and your inconsistency when you disappear. They are recording your focus when you work and your distraction when you scroll endlessly. They are recording your discipline when you choose effort and your weakness when you choose comfort. And slowly, without any noise, they build a conclusion about your life. One of the hardest truths to accept is that your future self is already being written by your current numbers. The person you will become in 5 years is not decided in one moment. It is decided in thousands of small moments that you are living right now. Each decision is adding ink to that future page. And once it is written through repetition, it becomes extremely difficult to change without serious transformation. That is why regret usually comes late. Not because people don't know what to do, but because they ignored the importance of their daily numbers when they had control over them. They underestimated small actions. They thought missing one day didn't matter. They thought delaying one step was harmless. But numbers never treat anything as small. Everything counts. Everything adds up. On the other hand, when someone becomes aware of this truth early, their entire life changes direction. They start respecting their time differently. They start treating their actions as investments instead of random behavior. They start understanding that even invisible efforts are visible in the final result. Because numbers don't care about intention alone, they care about repetition. And that is the real meaning behind numbers are watching you. It is a reminder that your life is always being evaluated by what you repeatedly do, not what you occasionally plan. It is a reminder that your discipline is being measured even when you are not measuring it yourself. And it is a reminder that your future is quietly being built in the background of your present actions. So when you finally understand this, you stop living casually with time. You stop treating days like they are meaningless. You stop thinking that you can afford unlimited delays. Because suddenly you realize that every single moment is contributing to a final result that you will have to live with. And that realization changes everything. Because once you truly feel that your numbers are always watching, you stop running away from responsibility. And you start building a life that those numbers will one day proudly reflect. So don't just live through numbers. Take control of them, because one day they will become the story of who you really were.